Once you learn the proper tools to regulate your nervous system, and so depending on what state you're in, if you're in a state of anxiety, if you're in a state of fear or sadness, or if you have low energy, or if you have pain, your subconscious mind is going to take in all these tools, and in that moment, it's going to know which one to use, and you're going to get that intuition from within. Oh, I need to do this type of breathing. Oh, I need to do this type of exercise. Oh, I need to do this. And so this work isn't about perfection, because I still feel those negative emotions sometimes. Sometimes that anxiety creeps in. Sometimes that fear creeps in. Sometimes that sadness creeps in. But it's not about living in those emotions anymore, because I used to be stuck in those emotions, couldn't escape them. And so it's about regulating the emotions. So once that sadness comes in, you know which tool to use to release it. So you can come back to homeostasis, which is just a state of calm and peace and bliss. That's our baseline state, and that's something that can be programmed in. And so based on what you're experiencing, and once you know the full toolkit on what different types of breath works to use, or movement, or diet, or whatever it is, you're going to start to be your own doctor, your own healer. It's all about having the proper tools. Because a lot of us, when we're in that fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system state, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to break out of it, because we've never really learned how to. And our nervous system has just been bombarded over the years of living through stress, poor diet, poor posture, poor breathing habits, poor sleeping habits. All these things add up. And so a lot of people, they get stuck into this fight or flight nervous system, this sympathetic state. And so for them, it's hard to break out of it, because they don't know the proper tools in order to break out of it. A lot of people just numb themselves to, oh, I'm going to have a drink, or I'm going to eat some food, or whatever it may be, to escape those emotions, to feel better about themselves. But it's like putting a Band-Aid over a hole and expecting that hole to close up. And so same thing applies here, is once we learn the proper tools, all this becomes super seamless. So there's times when I feel super low energy. I know what I need to do in order to raise my energy. Because there's days and times where I just have to get something done. And utilizing that breathing technique is crucial to raising my energy. And anything that you may be going through, whether it's overthinking, that's something I just used to get bogged down by all the time. I'm like, why am I always stuck? Just constantly looping in my brain all these different thoughts. And so that's directly tied to our rate of breathing. And so if we realize we fix our breathing, we can fix our overthinking. And that's tied to our autonomic nervous system. And so an interesting thing is our brainstem regulates when we breathe. We have chemoreceptors in our brainstem, and that regulates when we take the next breath based on our CO2 limits for our body. And so a lot of people suffer from overbreathing, and that causes them to be stuck in a lot of these states. But that's not always the case. A lot of times there's a lot of other root causes. It could be physiological, it could be mental, it could be emotional. There's so many different causes. But the key is it doesn't matter. Because once your nervous system learns the proper tools, it's going to know which one to use. And so it's just having a good tool belt to be able to facilitate and fix these problems. Because if we don't know what to do, then we can't solve them. And so it's trying to like hammer in a nail with a saw, which is like, you can maybe get it done, but it's going to be painful and you're going to struggle. And so one of my primary philosophies in life and everything, especially this type of work, is you don't have to suffer or struggle to overcome any problem in life. If you spent more than 3 months to overcome any sort of issue and you're struggling and you're suffering and you don't know what to do, that means there's a move that you can make that's going to make it easier for you. And it's much akin to the game of chess. So if you're losing at a game of chess, that means there's a move that you can make on the board that would make everything easier. But you don't see that move. And so the trick is being able to see what that move is and learning what that move is, because once you make that move on the chessboard, it makes that game easier and you win. And so the same thing applies to life. Is there's a move that you can make that you don't see, and if you make that, it'll make everything easier. And you'll be able to overcome your problem. And so that's the essence of this work. It's not about perfection. It's just learning about all the different tools, and then your body knows what it needs. And it starts to become automatic. And so if we truly tune into our bodies, truly tune into ourselves, then we can truly heal. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful day.